Happy Monday, it's Cara with your weekly Body Tarot forecast. We are asking what is going on in our body, how can we best support our body and support ourselves through tending to our physical needs. Let's get into it. I'm going to pull a couple different cards for body and movement, rest and sleep, nourishment and consumption. And we're going to see what that brings us. Ooh. High Priestess, Six of Cups, and Six of Pentacles. Okay, I'm going to pull a clarifier for each of these as well, but first up in body and movement, we have the High Priestess. So, can we approach our movement, how we relate to our body, how we tend to our body, how we physically engage with it, what we make it do, where we take it, how we express it? Can we approach movement as a way of deepening our self-connection, of deepening our connection to our heart, to our intuition? On a practical level, this may look like detaching our movement practice from a objective external outcome, right? Like a certain amount of calories burned or weight lifted. I love to put numbers on my weights. I love to strive for bigger weights. It's really fun and engaging for me, but there is a lot to be said for dropping out of the cerebral mind and connecting to body and letting go of expectation, letting go of goal setting, and seeing how deeply we can be in the process and detached from the outcome. Can we amplify the actual energetic benefit of our movement? Can we get into a deeper, more sensate place in our bodies through our movement, right? Like sometimes you get to the gym, you get to your practice, and like the wheel of thoughts is just spinning and the chatter is chattering, and you're like, oh, did I do this right? Did I do this enough? Am I in the right position? Am I doing this right? And it's when we can't get out of that, we close ourselves off to some of the amazing insights and sensations that can come up that our body wants us to feel and wants us to be aware of while we're actually in movement. So we'll pull a card, an oracle card from the Usi Oracle deck. Releasing expectations, perhaps, releasing the need to objectively quantify every single thing that we do and consider if it's right or wrong or bad or good or what. This is a powerful combination here. I really like seeing this. This is a powerful reminder for me to continue to center my strength practice and my strength magic into the stillness within, into when I approach the bar of letting go of my thoughts, of remembering what I'm actually doing here. I'm amplifying energy. I'm reinforcing positive self-belief. I'm loving myself by doing something that I love. So over in rest and relaxation, also sleep, I consider this sort of the position of where can we tend to ourselves in our restoration time. It is so easy to diminish this aspect of our lives, to diminish this area of our lives. And here we have Six of Cups. So this speaks to the offerings that rest and relaxation hold for us. The ability to perhaps access a more childlike, open-hearted state in relaxation, perhaps through shared emotional connection. So this could look like, again, on a practical level, of doing things that are relaxing and rejuvenating to you that you enjoy sharing with the people that you care about, right? So whether that's going, booking a bestie massage and going with your friend to do something that's restorative for you, or just spending time with a person who is restorative to be around, right? Giving our energy in a loving way to a friend in a relaxed setting can be a really powerful way for us to get out of our hamster wheel and to connect to others, to give our energy in a loving way that rejuvenates everybody. What's our oracle for this? Oh, transformation. So it is through other people. It is through connection where we are able to both witness ourselves and amplify all of our qualities. Other people are mirrors. And when we think about other people, or we look at other people and we immediately get hypercritical or annoyed or irritated, there's something going on with us. A lot of the time. Maybe not always. Sometimes, there's someone who just is irritating. But so much, but how we're thinking about that, how we're approaching that in our mind tells us about our own inner state and what we're going through and what we're growing through. There is a sense of, if you are into astrology, you may know that there's a major transit this week with Saturn entering Pisces. We're all in this together. Our healing does not happen by ourselves. We can go through really important transformative things by ourselves, but ultimately that transformation and its legitimacy, its evidence will be in our relationships and how we show up to connecting to other people. You can go through so much in here and be like, oh my gosh, I learned this, I learned that, like I'm different now. And then you go and you talk to your friend or your partner or your coworkers, and like you're doing the exact same things. You're saying the same shit, you're doing the same things, you're reacting the same ways. And it's like, did you actually grow or change, or did you just get an insight that gave you that little hit of novelty, and you've told yourself that you've changed, but you've not actually shifted anything, right? So how we're approaching and engaging other people is going to show us so much. So perhaps again, bringing this into the practical again, looking at, is there a point in our day, at the end of the day, where we can officially cut off from the to-do list and what we think we have to do for us, and put our focus onto how we can connect to the people in our lives? Can you end your day with a phone call to somebody who would like to hear from you, a sibling, parent, friend, lover, coworker, can we take our focus off of ourselves a little bit and realize that, again, our transformation is not just about us. It is about our ecosystem, our whole field. We are in relationship with so many beings, with everything, right? And this to me feels also like the invitation to release a little bit of the tension around thinking that you have to be perfect and have everything figured out all the time. You don't. Your people are here to support you and help you and show you love and show you those beautiful parts of yourself. And what you can do is make space and time for those connections to foster that ability for you to share together. Okay. Consumption and nourishment. I think of this both as literal consumption, like what am I eating? What is my mind eating? What is my heart eating? What am I putting into my system on a daily, hourly, minute basis, weekly basis, right? So, Six of Pentacles. We have this image of sort of benevolence or charity, you could look at it. You could look at it as someone on high sort of bestowing gifts. And there's a practical sense of like a physical, real need that you have, or that others around you have. And how we answer this need is to be found within how we relate to ourselves and how we relate to others. So looking around and asking, what is the need that I can meet, both for myself and for the people around me? And when it comes to our nourishment, our nutrients, right? Like when it comes to food and diet, that can get so frenetically analytical of like, am I eating the right thing? Is this the right nutrients, the right macronutrients, the right calories? Is it ethically sourced? Does it, and then when it comes to mental consumption, we're in states of mental consumption almost nonstop in the modern life, right? In the modern world, we're in front of screens. You're on a screen looking at this right now. You walk down the street, you see so many ads, so many things. So there's an invitation. There's always an invitation, baby. Everything's an invitation to become aware how like what you're consuming is going to be what you're putting back out. And when you sort of put it, this is so dumb. You are what you eat. We all know that phrase, right? Like what the frick does it actually mean? You are what you eat. Well, the quality of things that you're putting into your system, into your spiritual, mental, emotional ecosystem is going to be what you share with other people. So this is not just about you, right? We're not just taking care of ourselves and being healthy for our own enjoyment. It's so we can show up for the people that we love. I'm going to pull this clarifier oracle. I forgot. Here we go. We'd love to see it. Manifestation. What a loaded word too, right? Like if you're in like the new age world, like you've heard this word a trillion times. And if you're not in the new age world, you're like, these fucking people, right? I have both of those wolves in my head, by the way. Sorry, I ran out of recording space and I had to delete some stuff. Anyway, what was I saying? Two wolves, right? I am a person of duality in many ways, right? Anyway, we all have that give and take, that hyper analytical critical side, and the I just want to believe open-hearted child. And it's sort of like, how do we reconcile and bring those aspects of ourselves together to create a really strong, happy, healthy life that's rooted in real results and real action and reality. And so this is a cool combination of like the literal physical things that you put into your body have an actual effect on your well-being, especially when those things are reflective of your values, shall we say. When I come up with my principles of like how I think I need to just eat, for example, like what type of nourishment, nutrients that I think that I need, that I really believe make me feel good, make me function at a high level, and I acquire those things according to my own ethics, right? And then that's going to create a positive. I've done the inner work of figuring out how I feel about these things and what I believe about them, and with a grain of salt of I don't know everything and I'm always learning, but I'm doing my best to source the highest quality possible, because I believe that I need to be the highest quality possible for myself and for others. And the same is true of my mental internal state. If I'm scrolling Twitter in a hate fit all day, that is going to be what I put back out to my friends and to my family and to my loved ones and to my cat. And that's the energy that they're essentially going to get, right? So this calls to, this is like a loving sort of encouraging reminder of like, whatever it is that's feeding you positively, literally the activities that you do, the things you go to, the things you eat, whatever's feeding you positively, it is having an effect. And to reinforce and amplify that. Every time you engage with something, it is an opportunity for you to absorb and become better through that engagement, through that dynamic, through that relationship, right? There's a quote, the specifics escape me, but it's the idea that true connection is like when two things meet and then they are changed in their nature by their connection. Something like that. I want to pull just two more cards to sort of send us on our way. General note for the week. Oh, Ten of Swords. Sageness. Isn't that beautiful card? So, I always have, I'm of two minds with Ten of Swords. And in this instance, I'm talking a lot about the things that we're taking in, the things that we're doing. This is death by overthinking. This is I can't get out of running everything through this hyper analytical lens. But I know that I need to be engaged with my thoughts. I need to own my thoughts, and I need to tap into my inner wisdom to guide these things. And so we can sort of listen for the body signs of when we're overthinking, which may literally, for me, there's a literal sensation of like fuzziness that comes with like constriction, like when you hold your breath and you start to get like sort of fuzzy, like that's almost what like overthinking feels like to me. And I'm able to tap into my actual wisdom when I relax and listen. And there's a literal call to nature is always a bet for me. Getting outside, going to the park, going and letting movement and the natural world sort of help me balance myself. It's like if you're too stuck in mind, if you're too in your thoughts, you're not in action. So if you find yourself this week, we maybe have been processing a lot. I know I certainly have for the last few weeks, and that's okay. This is also 10 is like the final burst of this. It's completion. It is the finality of like, well, we're talking numerology. I'm not a numerologist. I just find it a fascinating lens to sort of look at things through. But 9 is the number of completion, and 10 is like the excess and next step and tumble back to 1. So we may find ourselves like we are maxing out ourselves mentally. And that is going to, there's a sort of a tension to an intensity to that can be anchored and balanced by the relaxation of surrendering to the natural world, to the world of our bodies. And that's, I think, where we can find some release. Coming back to release in the High Priestess, right? This is about the mind is present here. Our intellect is the lens through which we understand and create the world in our head. But it's when we have that looser grip that's ready to grab when the opportunity strikes or arises, but isn't so tight that it can't receive, right? So I hope you have an amazing week. I hope that you find presence and joy and connection and exciting challenges and opportunities to be yourself, to express yourself, and to feel the incredible miracle that is your body. Go get them. Here is all of our cards if you want to take a little look at them. Boom.